Well, the day has come and I will be sharing my story with you guys. Most of you may know me already, but if you don't, my name is Stacey. I am 32 and I'm a mom. And I mentioned before in my other video that I was going to be talking about my life, my experiences with mental health and with the stuff that I deal with now. My timeline, again, I said it was going to be from 16 to 32. So I would like to start off by saying that no person that played a part in my life do I feel any type of way for, or is this video made to bash them. I won't be mentioning any names because there's no need to. There's no need to mention anyone's name. And not only that, but I feel like these people, just like me, most likely have grown and are in other chapters in their life. And everything I've gone through in life and I will go through in life was destined for me to go through, because that is who made me. That is what made me who I am today. So a little background is I am Dominican and Puerto Rican. My mom is Dominican. My father, may he rest in peace, was Puerto Rican. My father passed away at a really young age. Well, I was really young when my father passed away. I was 3 years old. He passed away on my birthday. And I don't really remember my dad. So my mom pretty much raised us by herself until recently that she got married. So no man has ever lived in my house other than my 2 brothers. So we were raised by a single Dominican mom. And other Spanish people, Latinos, can relate. When you're raised in a Latino household, mental health is not spoken upon at all. Like, you cannot feel sad, you cannot feel down, you cannot, it's like so taboo to even mention having a tough day, right? Because especially like me, that I was raised by a single mom, my mom used to always tell me things like if I came here at a young age and I wasn't born here and I don't know English well and I strived with you 3, then there's no reason for you to not strive in anything you do. And she did not realize that we weren't in the same era. Like every era is different. I can't compare my era to my daughter's era, you know? Like, these are things that I learn now, and I try to put into my motherhood, you know, and how I parent. So yeah, dealing with mental health and with hard times in a home with strong, very strong. I'm like so proud of my mom. I don't blame her for anything. But a very strong, independent woman was hard, because it was hard to even explain to her the reason why I felt sad or any reason. So I'm gonna start off by telling you guys when I started feeling different. So I would say when I entered high school, around, no, because I entered high school at 14. So I would say around 16, because around 16 I ended up dropping out of high school. So I became like, I think I was a pretty good student throughout my, you know, elementary and junior high school. And then I got to high school and I didn't feel like I felt in, like was able to fit in with anyone. I was kind of a loner, not because no one wanted to talk to me, but because I just didn't feel like I could speak to people. I didn't feel like I could relate to anyone because of all the stuff that I was holding inside. So like I said, my father passed away when I was 3 years old. So I think in my teen years, that's when it started to really hit me that I did not have a dad. And as great as my 3 older brothers were, well, I'm not even gonna lie, my 2 older brothers, because I do have 3 brothers, but one I don't really have a relationship with and I don't really know him. And yeah. So as great as my 2 older brothers were, they weren't my dad's, and that wasn't a responsibility that could been put on them, you know. So they were teens also trying to live their life, and then I was the youngest and a girl, and I was trying to live my life too. But at 16 I started kind of feeling a lot of anger towards like a lot of things. Like everything will get me angry, everything will get me angry, everything will get me upset. I felt a lot of loss, even though like a lot of people tell me like, how can you miss something that you didn't have? And it wasn't that I missed it, but I questioned it. How would my life be like if my father was alive? Like, what would be different if my father was here? Would I still be in this, like, you know, I felt empty. So I could miss something that I didn't have, because it's just a place that, a void that cannot be filled by anyone, you know. So I felt really lost. I felt really confused. I didn't know what my emotions were, and at one point I felt defeated. So as much as I tried to do good in school, I wasn't doing good. So I ended up trying to get a transfer, and I ended up transferring, and then I don't know what happened, but that school ended up sending me back to my high school. And when they sent me back to my high school, I was like, it's done. I'm done with school. I don't want to go back, and I'm really, really just over this. So I decided to sign myself out of school. My mom was very upset. Everybody was really upset. No one in my family has ever dropped out of school but me. So it was really difficult, and my family started there. They kind of started turning their backs on me. But it was something I was kind of already used to, because like I said, for a long time I felt like kind of alone. So as everybody spoke about me and called me different names, and my mom's family would come in here and say like, call me like a burra, which is a donkey, or like dumb, like they would call me out of my name and stuff, and say little things. It kind of made me more and more and more angry. And this is when I started noticing that I was changing. But it wasn't like my anger started becoming sadness too, because it wasn't something, like I said, we really didn't talk about it here. So the only emotions that I knew were angry and happy. Either you mad or you good. So my depression at that time just came out as anger, because I would lash out at everybody. You could have said good morning to me, and if I felt like you said it in a funny way, I was already on full mode, ready to attack. So that was at 16. So from like 16 to 18, I kind of had that really rude attitude, but it wasn't because I was trying to be rude. That was just my defense mechanism towards everything, you know. It was just, I was on, my guards was up all the time, you know. So I was just on that type of time all the time. Like, so you got something to say, like, what's wrong? Because I was being attacked by my own family, so I felt like everybody had something to say. So a few months before my 19th birthday, I ended up meeting someone. And before I met him, like I think around 17, 18, I started trying to find help. And in finding help, I kind of turned to, you know, church, because that's what my mom always used to tell me, like, oh, pray on it, or God this and God that. So I said, maybe let me give myself to God, and give myself to the church, and let's see if this helps me. So from like 18, 17, 18, and maybe a little bit of 19, I was really into church, going to church retreats and all that. And I was trying to really find like a way to like heal myself, you know. I was really trying to heal myself, because I felt so much inside of me, but I didn't know how to let it out, because I had no one to talk to about it, you know. Like my friends, I had millions of friends, but I saw them all happy, I saw them all good, and I didn't want to be the one to push my stuff on them. yeah, they saw me angry a lot, and they saw me be rebellious, and they saw me do a lot of things like that. But it was, to them, it was normal because I was a teen. But it was kind of a cry for help, if you would say. But no one ever heard that cry. So I chose myself, like, to just help myself. So I was like, well, I'm gonna try going to church, right? And try giving myself to God, and try something's got to work. Something, I have to start somewhere. So I started with that. I remember going on retreats and not being able to take my phone, but they would let us write to our friends. So I would write to my friends and all that. And I was feeling better. And then I was feeling like a little bit better, in the sense that I kind of felt a little bit lighter, because I will go and pray, and in this time of prayer, I will feel like I'm letting it out, even though I'm not talking to anyone. You know, I'm just feeling like God is hearing me, so I'm letting it out to Him. So at a few months before my 19th birthday, I ended up meeting someone through a friend, and this person really started, like, in the beginning, it was so cool, it was so different to me, because first of all, he was my first boyfriend. I ain't never was in a relationship before him. I never had a boyfriend before him. Like, I talked to people, but it wasn't on some, oh, you my boyfriend, and like, I'm gonna tell everybody, and whatever the case may be, and we're together all the time, and I'm sleeping over your crib and you're sleeping over my crib. So this was my first relationship. And at first, it was like, oh my God, right? He was fine, and he was everything my mom said not to go for. He was like full of tattoos, and it was, it was the opposite of what you want your child to get with, right? So but he was able to bring out the happy Stacey for a while, right? So when I was around him, I was smiling, I was laughing, we were always cracking jokes. It was different. It was a feeling that I didn't get a lot. So when I started feeling this or whatever, I was like, damn, like, I could start getting used to this, because this is a new me, like, I'm happy around this person. I feel different around this person, and it's just a new chapter in life. And then that relationship took a very dark turn, right? I was with this person for a few years. Maybe to this person, my timeline and his timeline don't match. But the year that he left my house and I actually said the words, I don't want to do this anymore, was 2013. So from 2007 to 2013, I was dealing with this person physically and emotionally still. So in those years, that now the timeline is gonna go from 2007 to 2013. So I was 19 to maybe 24, 25, right? So in those years, that relationship made, like, my depression really bad. Like, if my depression was on, let's say there's a scale from 1 to 10, if my depression was out of 5 when I met him, my depression went to a 10 when I met him, or maybe freaking 12 or 13. Again, this person, I don't mean to call them out. I'm not gonna say no names again. Maybe you were a villain in my story, but you're probably somebody's Prince Charming now. So I'm just telling it how I felt and what I went through. I'm not blaming this person. I'm not calling this person a bad person. I'm not saying that this person should be under the jail because of what they did to me, because I don't believe that. I believe that everything I went through, I had to go through it, because if not, I would have not been who I am today. So again, back to what I was saying. The relationship was just horrible. Like, it went from beautiful days to days that I just didn't want to wake up. In the midst of this relationship, a lot of things happened in the beginning and happened quick. So uh, I didn't know how to really juggle all the stuff that was going on, you know, and it was a lot. It was a lot for a 19-year-old girl who's already going through stuff, who's already feeling like the world is against her, to then have this one person that was bringing out the best in her, like the happiness in her, to just turn around and be just as worse as, just as bad, or maybe worse than the people that I felt like, you know, were shitting on me. So during this relationship, I had a loss, a really bad loss, which was my godfather. So when I was 20 in April, I I just became a mom as well in March, and in April I ended up losing my godfather, who was like my father figure, you know, like my godfather. Um, I did everything with him and his kids. I did everything um with them, period. Like, I remember when I first got my menstrual, I was actually out in Florida, and he had moved out there for a while. And my godfather was the one who bought me my first pack of pads, and he was the one who told me how to put it on. And he was really like my father, you know. I have two great men that were there, that they're my friends' fathers, and every time, like every memory I have is with them. They pretty much taught me how to ride bike, how to skate, how to do everything, like everything a father was supposed to do. I had these two men, but my godfather was like my father, you know. Like they were both like my dad, but him, I don't know, maybe because he was so tough on us, like on all of us, that it was just something that it was a stronger a stronger bond, you know. So I lost my godfather. He passed away in April of 2008. And it was a hard loss. It was a really hard loss because um like I said, my godfather really, he pretty much taught us everything, right? So he was the only person that I had to be there as a father figure, and then now he's gone. And on top of him being gone, I watched him take his last breath. So we were all bedside with him. And I remember that morning, like my god sister called me, and she's like, hey, you need to come to the hospital. For a while, she used to not tell me anything about my godfather because, you know, I was a new mom. Before that, I was pregnant, and she didn't want to, you know, like tell me a lot about what was going on with my godfather, but he was really sick. So when she finally, that day came, and they gave my godfather an hour, she called me like, hey, you need to get here because they gave my dad an hour. So I remember I just told my daughter, like, I'm like, I don't know what you guys are gonna do with my daughter, but I gotta go. Like, I gotta go. I remember just jumping on the train. I don't remember having money to get there. I don't remember having money to get back. I don't remember any of that. I just remember getting on the train and getting to the hospital. And I remember watching him, like just watching this person that I remember watching this person that sorry. I remember watching this person that pretty much was my dad, you know, like taking his last breath. And I remember half the room telling him, like, it's okay, you can stop fighting now, you can rest. And then I remember half of us saying, like, no, like, my godfather's name was Mario, so we used to call him Super Mario. So I'm like we used to be like, no, like I remember some of us saying, like, no, you can fight, like, you have to fight, you know. And in my heart, I really wanted him to fight. But now that I'm older, and now that I understand life better, I knew that he was tired, his body was tired, and he had to rest. So when I lost my godfather, I didn't know how to take that. I just became a single mom. I mean, not a single mom. I just became a mom. This loss, it was a lot. I still, you know, I'm in this really up and down roller coaster relationship. It was a lot to deal with, you know. Sorry if I say a lot, but when I lost my godfather, I kind of felt like this was it. Like it was just so much, and I couldn't breathe. I felt suffocated. I didn't know how to get my emotions out. I didn't know, and then this made me angry again. So like the 16-year-old Stacey was coming back. Like I'm angry again, and I don't know how to take this loss. And I felt like he left me, like my dad left me, like they could have fought because I needed them, which is very selfish of me to feel like that. But at the moment, that's how I felt. So I decided to get help, and I decided I didn't know. I felt like church wasn't helping me anymore. I felt like I was talking to God and it was going to deaf ears. I felt like no one around me understood me. I'm a single mom, and anybody knows that. I mean, I keep saying single mom, but I wasn't a single mom. I just had my daughter. I was a new mom. It I had like, everybody knows that when you first have a kid, your friends disappear. You don't have anyone. As much as when you're pregnant and everybody's rubbing your belly and I can't wait for the baby to be born. I can't wait for the baby to be born. When that baby is born, you are alone. So having a baby and being alone and not having my friends really there for me, and just basically my mom and my brothers there. Well, my one of my brothers, because he lived with me. So just having him and my mom there, and my it was a hard time because I didn't know. Like I'm a new mom and I'm young, you know, and I'm also just lost my godfather, and I'm also in this really bad relationship and all this other stuff. So this time around, when I decided to get help, I didn't go back to church, and I didn't seek spiritual help. I went to a counselor. So this counselor, I saw them a few times, and then the counselor sent me to a therapist because obviously it was more to than just feeling sad. So when I went to the therapist, they diagnosed me with depression. And when I got diagnosed with depression, they decided to also give me pills. If you know me, if you know anything about me, you know that I am so against medicine and pills and all that, because I feel like that shit is poison. But that's just me. I respect everybody's opinion, and you feel how you want to feel. But so when these pills, the way they tell you to take it is, so when you first get it, they tell you to take half a pill and see how your body does, and then the week after you'll take a whole pill and see how your body does, and then until you reach the point that you feel good. So that first day I was contemplating taking these pills. I was like, I don't want to do this, but I want to get better. I want to feel better. So I ended up taking half a pill. So when I took that half a pill, I ended up getting lockjaw. So I was going like this for like the whole 2 days, and I'm scared as shit. I'm like, bro, I'm gonna stay like this. I'm gonna keep like I don't know, is this a side effect or something? So I did not take no more pills. I just took that half, and I said, nope, I'm done. So if you're going to a therapist and they prescribe you these medications, and you decide not to take these medications, then you can't really go back to the therapist, because of the simple fact that this is a form of you getting help, right? So this is how they're helping you. It's not only just talking, it's these pills. So I decided to just call it quits. I'm not going back to these people. I'm not taking these pills. I'm not doing any of that. So I ended up saying, like, I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna just fix myself, right? I'm gonna just get it together. Some way, somehow, I'm gonna get it together. So by this time, I'm like 21, probably gonna be like 22, and I'm still in this relationship, and shit is still sour as fuck. um I was, you know, in an abusive of a relationship. It was abusive. It was physically, mentally, and emotionally abusive, and it was really fucked up. Like, for that to be your first, for you to be in a violent relationship, in your first relationship, and you really don't know how to fucking get out of it, and it's already like you are already a little messed up, and now you done fucked me up. Like, I was messed up, but you don't fuck me up. So like, being in that relationship, and as the time went on, it got worse. It was cheating, it was abuse, it was mental abuse. I remember times that I stopped doing a lot of things. I gave up on myself. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. um from when I was younger, like when I was 16, 17, 18, 19, I used to love getting my hair done, dyeing my hair different colors, just being real girly, because before that I was such a boy, because I only have brothers. I don't have no sisters. So I didn't know how to be a girl. They taught me how to play baseball and throw football and all this other stuff, not to paint nails. So when I got to that girly stage, and then I had a kid, and then you know, like, I started kind of falling off. I kind of used to just say, oh well, you know, I'm a mom and I'm not worried about myself, I'm worried about my daughter. But in reality, it wasn't really that, because you could be a mom and still love yourself. You could be a mom and still want to get your hair done. You could be a mom and still want to look good. I was just not happy with myself. I wasn't happy internally. I was sad, I was down, I was depressed, you know. And in all of this, I stopped doing my hair, I stopped doing my nails, I stopped doing that. So I know a few people used to like, yo, you let yourself go and all this other stuff. But it wasn't really like I let myself go on purpose, you know. It was I was in this place that it was just dark. Like, it was dark as fuck. So years went on, and I remember at one point I was just really mostly sleeping my days away. It got to that point. It got to the point that I was just sleeping. And then while I was while I was sleeping or whatever, I remember my daughter used to come with me, like come to me with toys and want to play, and I just didn't want to be up. I didn't want to be up. I didn't want to play. I didn't want to look at this person that was laying next to me. I didn't want to do any of that, because it was just so, it was just such an ugly place. I just didn't want it. I didn't want to be in reality. So then after a while, like I you know, became of age to go out and to be able to drink and to be able to do all these other stuff. So I started drinking, and then I started drinking heavily, and then I started drinking um more than I should have, and I started going out. So then I started going out to not be at home, but I was leaving my daughter at home. You know, I was leaving my daughter with my mom and with my brother, and I wanted to go out. And I remember you know, they checked me like, yo, you not doing your job as a mom. And to me, I was doing my job as a mom, because I'm there during the day. I'm just going out at night, you know, like I'm going out at night, I'm drinking at night, I'm chilling at night or whatever. So I felt like I was still being a good mom, but in reality I wasn't. So um I want to say around 24, 25. um no, not even, I'll say around 23. My brother left. He joined the military, and it kind of got harder as he left, because when he joined the military, he also had got deployed 1 year, and that 1 year it was difficult, because my brother, this particular brother, was my best friend, because we were so close in age. And not only that, but you know, we have the same mom and dad, and we went through a lot of things as children together. So I was really close to this brother. But then he was in a relationship himself, and it was just like, it was like, I guess we were both fighting demons, you know. And in us fighting our own demons and living in one house, we clashed. And right before my brother got deployed, we got into this really bad argument, And my brother tried to save me a lot of times. I can't even lie to y'all. He did, but I was just so stubborn. I didn't want his help, I guess. I don't know what it was, to be honest. But right before my brother left, maybe I want to say maybe a month before my brother left to his deployment, I remember we got into a big ass argument, and I had told him one time, like, oh, I hope you die over there. And those words haunted me like no other. I think that was my lesson, to be careful what I say to people, because that shit could eat you more than it could eat the next person. So when my brother left for deployment, I think that's when I started even drinking even more, because there was days that I didn't speak to my brother. My depression became worse because these words were in my head all the time. I replayed those words all the time. I remember when the night my brother was leaving, I got on my knees and I begged him like for forgiveness, and I told him, I'm like, you gonna leave us just like our dad did, because it's mine and his dad that passed away when we were younger. I'm like, you leaving us just like dad did, you just gonna abandon us. But it was from guilt, from what I told him, you know. So as he left, like, my mom fell under depression. My mom's hair was falling out. My mom's vision was going. We went to doctors to see how can we get help. There was nothing. They told us nothing. Like, we don't know what is causing this. And she had exams done and all this other stuff. So I remember sometimes I would talk to my mom, and guys, still remember that at this time I'm still dealing with my own depression. I'm still in this bad relationship. I'm still going through all this stuff. So as I'm trying to like care for my mom as well, I'm sinking more. So I remember trying to talk to my mom some days, and I remember, like, like just saying, like, oh ma, I love you, and like she would just not talk. There was days that I wouldn't even know what my mom's voice sound like, and there was days that all I would hear is her crying. And we will get knocks on the doors, and it was like, well, did you tell someone to come, or did you tell someone to come? And we will be nervous as shit when people will knock on the door, like, this is the day they're gonna tell us that he's gone. Like, this is the day. And in all of this, like, it was just hard to deal with, because I felt like I was in a whirlwind, and like everything is going around, and I'm just in the middle, and I don't know where to start. Like, I don't know where to grab. I don't know where to hold on to. And when my brother left, thank God he came back safe, and things were a little bit better. Like, we started talking while he was over there, and we will communicate and all that. So things were a little bit better, but I was still fighting my own demons, right? So in all of this, I was just looking for someone to talk to. I was looking for someone to just, like, be able to express myself, and be able to just for a little bit find a little bit of time that I'm happy. So I did find someone, and this person was a friend. This person was I was able to talk to them and laugh, even if it wasn't about my problems, even if we was talking about a movie or some dumb shit. Like, I was able to find that. And as the years went by, maybe 1 year went by, and at this point, my daughter entered school. So I made a promise to myself that when my daughter goes to school, I'm gonna go back to school, because again, I had dropped out of high school when I was 16. So I made a promise to myself, and I did exactly that. I found someone who was in my daughter's, one of the little girls that was in my daughter's class. Her mom worked in the school, and she was like, listen, do this application, and I'm gonna make sure that you get in. And I did the application once, and I don't know what happened, and then she was like, do it again. So I did it again, and I ended up getting into school. So when my daughter was graduating pre-K, around that time, I was entering school. At this time is when I officially called it quits. I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I can't do this anymore, because it is just too much. Like I don't feel good about myself. I'm not happy. I'm giving my daughter 25%. I'm not even 50, So it was just a lot. So when I went back to school, I made the decision to just be done, you know, like, but while I made the decision to go back, while in this process of making the decision to go back to school and to call it quits, and I mentioned that I was talking to someone just as a friend or whatever, that someone life ended up happening with them and they ended up getting locked up. So this point, now that I found that little bit of happiness, life snatched that shit right the fuck back. Like, I'm gonna show you something real quick. So while while this person was in jail, incarcerated, I was trying to juggle going to see this person. I finally called it quits. So now the person that I called it quits was taking me to court and having me in court all the time. I'm trying to go back to school, and it was like, I'm trying to do this one good thing, but everything else in life is just punching me, kicking me. And I felt like I just couldn't no more. And I remember I finally opened up to my mom, and I told her, I'm like, Mommy, like, I remember every day praying. I would pray, you know, like, when you wake up, you pray. When you go to sleep, you pray, and you thank God. You thank God for waking me up. I thank God for waking me up. I thank God for my family. I thank God for everything. But at this time, I was not praying for that at all. I was praying for God not to wake me up. I'm like, please don't wake me up. I do not want to wake up. I do not want to live this life. I do not want to. I don't want to feel anymore. I'm tired. I'm tired physically, emotionally, mentally. I'm tired. Like, it was a tired that sleep couldn't take away. It was a tired that a hug couldn't take away. It was a tired that nothing could take away. Not the liquor that I was drinking to take it away. Not anything, you know. Like, I was tired. So I decided to open up, you know, and talk to my mom. And I'm like, Mommy, I can't anymore, you know. I remember going to court dates for myself, and this person just, like, you know, saying bad things and just trying to make me out to be this bad person. And I just didn't want to do it anymore. And I told my mom, I'm like, Ma, you know, like, when I finally got over that hump, when I was explaining it to my mom, I said, Ma, I feel like, you ever feel like you drowning? I felt like I was drowning for a long time. I felt like I was drowning. I felt like every time I got to the edge of the pool, somebody ripped my fingers off and I'm back to drowning again. And I couldn't no more. And at one point, I just wanted to drown. Just drown. Just drown. Don't fight no more. Just drown. Because I did it. I just couldn't. I couldn't. My heart and my mind, I could not take it anymore. So, this person, we weren't together anymore. This person had moved on, or whatever the case may be. So then their significant other at the time wasn't the best either, because then it was like I'm getting attacked by these two people who feel like I'm doing the attacking, but honestly I'm just reacting to your actions. So they will put stuff on the internet about me, about my mothering, about my daughter. They will go to court and say things about me and say things about my mothering and all this other stuff. And it was just a whole fucking lot, yo. It was a lot. And in this time, I'm trying to be strong, because I'm like, well, this person that I really like is going through it. And I don't think that my problems are as bad as their problems. So I'm going to show face like nothing is wrong. So I used to try to just be there for them and go to visits and just smile all the time. But deep down inside, I just wanted to fucking cry. I wanted to cry. I wanted a hug. I wanted him to tell me, like, yo, it's going to be okay. But this is what taught me that my happiness cannot depend on another person. Because as time went by, that person went their own way and I went my own way, and never was I asked, you know, if anything was happening to me or anything. I was just really concerned about that person. And it was just kind of a eye-opener, right? So while I'm dealing with all this core stuff, this is when I start dealing with anxiety and panic attacks. So I remember, even though I had opened up to my mom and I told my mom is still very firm on just pray on it, or you know, God is gonna help us and this and that, because she's a very religious person. So I told my mom, she's religious, but my mom is a goofball, and my mom is such a great person. But I remember days that I used to tell my mom, like, please don't go. Like, it would be like she's gonna go do a church event or something, right? And I would cry, like, please don't go, please don't go, like, don't leave me here alone. I can't be here alone. If you leave, like, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die here. I'm gonna die here. And my mom would be like, well, that's the devil trying to make me not go to this religious event or whatever, because this is a devil. This is a devil, and da 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 da. And I'm like, please, mommy, don't, please. And my mom would leave, and it would just be me and my daughter. And my daughter will wipe my tears and say, mommy, it's okay because I'm here with you. But my thoughts were, I'm gonna die here, and my daughter's gonna be here alone, you know, like, and it was like stuff that, yo, yes, it could happen, but it's like 1 out of a million. Like, I will be thinking like, okay, my house is gonna go on fire randomly. I'm not cooking anything. There's nothing on the stove. There's no candles on. Why is my house gonna go on fire? But that was a thought in my mind. My house is gonna go on fire. I'm gonna die. My daughter's gonna be here alone. Oh, well, if I take a bath and I'm here by myself with my daughter, I'm gonna slip. I'm gonna break my neck. My daughter's gonna be here alone, you know. And it was just things like that. That it was like crazy shit. But people that have anxiety, these are the things that kind of trigger it, because you start thinking of stuff that is like, yes, these things can happen, and this is real, and it yes, but it's not going to. You understand? So in that time, I'm like telling myself, I remember when I started school, I had really bad panic attacks and really bad anxiety. And I remember going in to the class, and the class was in the basement with no windows in the basement. And I remember sitting close to the door, and they're like, all right, I think I'm gonna just quit. I'm not gonna keep coming back to school because I can't do this. I cannot breathe. I can't. At that time, I was smoking cigarettes, and I was drinking still and all this other stuff. So I would take cigarette breaks like crazy, right? I'm like, oh no, I need a cigarette. So I would go outside, have a cigarette, but I did not give up. I did not quit. I kept fighting with myself. It was really me versus me. I was not gonna let this anxiety and this panic attack win, because no, I have someone to fight for. And I had someone to fight for, and I'm not gonna just let this win, you know. So I'm still going to court for myself. I'm still having arguments with this person. I'm still back and forth, and I'm going to school, and I'm fighting a battle between myself, me and me versus me, you know, like my heart and my mind. So, well, my heart and my mind. But I was dealing with all of this, and I was still dealing with all of this alone. Because yeah, I have friends, but I only have friends when I wanted to go out and drink. I only have friends when I wanted to chill. I only have friends when I said, yo, let's go eat. But I never had a friend to stay up with me at night because I couldn't sleep. Because when I opened up to my friends, I got called weird. That shit is weird. That's crazy. What's wrong with you? I still to this day I can't take the train, you know, because if the train is underground, forget about it. I'm a panic. So if the train stops in the middle of between stops, forget about it. I'm gonna cry. You know, so there's certain things that I still to this day can't do, and I battle, you know, and I battle it daily. I battle my mind daily. So in between all going through court and going to school and going through all this, I remember at first I felt so defeated, and then one day I woke up and I felt the heat from my feet. I was like, Lord Jesus, what is this? Like, my blood started pumping from my feet, and I had a court that day, and I was like, yup, today is going to be the day, because I'm not gonna keep missing class and doing all this stuff because you obviously have a problem. Like, we already probably like a year or two done, and we going to court and we dealing with all this other stuff, and you still have control over me. And no, like, why am I still letting this happen? So I said, I can't feel defeated no more. I can't lay down no more. I cannot stay down anymore, because this person at this point is taking full advantage. So I remember that morning, that night, I probably prayed not to wake up. But God said, you're going to wake up. You're going to wake up, and you're going to wake up with all the strength in the fucking world. So that day I went to court, and it was like a whole nother person. And that person was like, yo, I'm done. I don't want to do court no more. Because I was like, no, it's not going to happen. I'm not gonna be giving you this power no more. I'm not giving you this power in court. I'm not giving you this power in here. I'm not giving you this power in here, because as much as I hated that person, that hate was only bothering me. That hate wasn't bothering that person, because that hate lived in me. So I told myself, nope, it's done. I'm over. I'm not going to be this person no more. And little by little, from that day forward, I started changing. I started looking for ways to just be different, not react to this person's actions, not be mad at this person. I remember I spoke to my older brother that I said I really don't have a relationship with, but I spoke to him, and he told me one thing, and that one thing to this day stuck with me. He told me, it's not that person's fault. It's not that person's fault that they did everything they did to you. It's your fault that they did everything they did to you. Why? Because you let him. Because had you put your foot down from the beginning, he would have not been able to do all that stuff. So that day, I learned to put the blame on me. I learned that it's not nobody's fault whatever I go through, because I let myself go through that. So I told myself, I'm not gonna let this person have this control over me no more. And I stopped responding. I stopped reacting. I stopped being mad. And this time, I also stopped drinking and smoking around 2013, 2014. I said no more, because I started researching more about anxiety and panic attacks. And I started seeing that, like smoking and drinking are things that can trigger it. So I said, I quit cold turkey, both things. And I said I was done. And to this day, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't miss it. I also try different things, like I stopped drinking stuff with caffeine. I don't drink anything with caffeine in it either, because I know that accelerates my heart, and I don't want to have an anxiety attack. So there's little things that I do to this day that help me with what I deal with to this day. Right now, at the moment, I cannot say I deal with depression, because I'm not angry. My sad days are one day, maybe, maybe 2 days, but my sad days aren't weeks anymore. They aren't months. They aren't years. I forgive before I didn't forgive. I learned to forgive, not for you, but for me. For a long time, I was just having this conversation with my daughter. She wants forgiveness. She wants someone to, she doesn't want forgiveness. She wants an apology. She wants someone to apologize to her, and she wants them to tell her the truth about a certain situation. And I said, okay, what are you gonna get from this truth? What are you gonna get from this apology? What are you expecting to feel from that? And she couldn't explain to me what she was expecting. She couldn't explain what she wanted to feel from me. So I told her, I said, listen, the best advice I could give you is to let it go. Don't wait for an apology, because most of the time, I told her, I was like, you know how many nights I waited for a text message to tell me that they are sorry? You know how many nights I waited for a call for them to say, yo, I apologize for everything I put you through, because you are not a bad person. But to me, I'm not a bad person, right? But I don't know what character I play in his story. I was probably a villain in his story. I was probably a trigger in his story. I probably made him depressed. But in me, I didn't feel like I did that. So I waited for an apology for a long time. To this day, I never got an apology. But you know what? I don't wait for it anymore. I'm not expecting it anymore. So that's what I told my daughter. I'm like, don't expect no apologies from anyone. Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself because you let yourself go through that. Or forgive yourself because you let that person lie to you. Or forgive yourself because you trusted someone and they broke it. You trusted them. You didn't need to trust them, but you decided to trust them. So you have to forgive yourself for these things. It's not only what a person does, because most of the time you let people do what they do to you. They can't do it if they don't have access to you. So after I let that person go and I dealt with everything I dealt with, and I dealt with my emotional roller coaster, I told myself that I was not going to get into a relationship with anyone, because hurt people hurt people. So I did not want to get in a relationship and fuck somebody up the way I was fucked up. I told myself, until I am happy 100% with me, I don't want to be in a relationship, because I don't want to hurt anyone the way I'm hurt. And that will project off of me into them, you know, like emotions, feelings, all these vibes will send off to this person. I dealt with people after that relationship, and it was good, and then my attitude came, right? So then that's it. I was over it. I'm done. Goodbye. It is what it is. Then I'll talk to another person, and I honestly didn't have no remorse to just cut somebody off. It was like, beat it. It is what it is. I'm at this point, I'm just for me right now. So then I told myself, I remember this one kid, he was like really on some, you are like a guy and this and this and that. He used to argue with me about this all the time. So I asked him one time, I said, what is it? You want to be with me? Like, do you want a relationship with me? He's like, but your problem is that you like a guy. I'm like, listen, what is it? Like, what is it? Because if you're not upfront with me, you're not telling me. Then I told him straight up, listen, I don't want a relationship. I don't want a relationship because I'm not who I want to be. So I'm not going to go to you and ask you to be who I want you to be when I'm not who I want to be. So I'm going to work on me. And I remember a lot of guys is like, oh, all that, I'm working on me and I'm going back to school and I'm gonna just focus on school, and that's for the birds. Oh, girls only say that when they want to do this, when they want to do that. I don't really care how you feel. I don't really care what your opinion is. I know what I'm doing. And like I said, for a long time I told myself I did not want to be in a relationship because I was fucked up and I did not want to fuck nobody else up the way I felt, and I didn't want to project that onto anyone. I want to say from 2014 to 2018, I did pretty good. I did pretty good. I went to school. I got my GED. After I got my GED, I kind of didn't know where I wanted to go in college, but I knew I wanted to go into the health field, so I ended up enrolling in a CNA program. As I was in the CNA program, I got accepted into college. When I got accepted into college, with 2 scholarships, and I got a full ride in my scholarship. And this is when I first started actually speaking about my story, because I spoke to my students about my story. A lot of people used to say, Miss, you so happy all the time, and you so this and you so that. And I used to really be like, I am, because I'm gonna always be happy, because this is me now. I'm becoming who I want to become, right? So I got to a point that I was happy, but I was still having my anxiety and still having my panic attacks, and I still didn't feel pretty, or I don't want to say pretty because I always thought I looked good. I'm not saying I'm cute or whatever, but I didn't feel happy with myself. There was still something inside of me that I didn't feel happy about. And I ended up graduating. I graduated with a high GPA. I graduated with honors as well. I graduated college, and then I started working. But again, there was still something, like, I don't know what it was, but it was still something in me that it did not feel 100%. And I remember when I was speaking to one of my aunts, and I told her, I was like, I don't know why, but I just don't feel. And she said, you know what the problem is? That you set goals, you accomplish them, and you do not celebrate them. You don't give yourself a chance to say, I got where I wanted to get to. Now let me celebrate. Now let me be happy. You don't enjoy these moments because you set a goal, you accomplish it, and then you want to run to the next one, run to the next one. You're never going to be happy because you're always trying to be better than who you were, Enjoy who you are. And I said, yo, that's true. I remember I don't celebrate birthdays because my father passed away. And then it's like, okay, you love your dad and he passed away, but you have to celebrate life. And I always say, for my birthday, I always like to, the year before, put a goal. So okay, before I turn 32, I want to get my goal this time is my motorcycle permit, right? Before I turn 33. So before I turn 33, I want to get my motorcycle license. If my permit, if I get my permit before 33, then I'll celebrate on my birthday, because I have something to celebrate. So that's how my mindset is. But at the same time, is good and is a bad thing, because I'm still me versus me, and I should give myself a break, you know, because just waking up and making it through the day, that shit is something to celebrate, especially when you deal with something like anxiety and panic attacks. With this whole COVID situation, when all of this happened, I didn't really experience panic attacks like I did this past year. Like, my panic attacks got so bad. In one of the clips that I showed of my last video, of my video or whatever, I was explaining how it made me feel. But what triggered it was the COVID situation, because I personally, me, I need a schedule, and I need to keep busy, because I don't have if I'm busy all day, I don't have enough time to think. So if I'm not busy, I'll try to like sleep away my days so I'm not thinking. But that's not okay. I need to be productive, because I gotta keep my body moving. I gotta keep my blood flowing. I gotta keep everything moving. So with the whole COVID situation, it was really bad, you know, like everything just switched from one day. I mean, we all lived it. So it was a whole switch, like a light switch from one day to the next. And I suffer from, you know, from these mental, I don't want to call it an illness, because I mean, it's a mental illness, but you know, like, I don't want to give it a label either, because I'm not different just because I have that, you know, like I just have to deal with life differently than a normal person. But what is normal? Because this is normal to me. This is my normal. Me having anxiety and panic attacks, this is my normal. This is who I am. But you know, someone that doesn't have it or whatever. Anyway, with all this going on, I had too much time. I had too much time to think. I had too much time to try to analyze everything that was going on, trying to analyze the COVID. Like, if I was a whole with all of these changes, that this triggered my panic to really get really bad to the point that I actually get it in my sleep. Like, I pop out of my sleep even to this day, you know. Like, if I fall asleep and if I fall into a really heavy sleep, my body will automatically just pop up, and my heart will be racing, and I feel like I can't breathe, and my throat feels like I have a knot in it. And these are things that I deal with regularly. But this is why I wanted to share my story, because I feel like these things a lot of people deal with, and they don't know how to explain it to people, because not everybody knows how to react to it. I have a friend that I love to death, and I had panic attacks in her house, and she would tell me, like, I don't know how to help you. Like, do you want water or something? But this is not her fault, you know, because we don't speak about these things. We don't talk about it. We don't share our stories, because sometimes you feel embarrassed to share it, you know? How do I tell someone, I can't meet you downtown right now because, first of all, I ain't got no cab money, and second of all, I'm not taking that train down there because I'm about to have an anxiety attack just thinking about it. Like, how do you tell someone that, you know? Like, how do you tell someone, how do you tell someone, I don't want to go to your party because there's going to be a lot of people there, and that is a trigger to me, you know? Like, those are things that sometimes it makes you feel embarrassed. It makes you feel like why can't I just be there? Like, everybody else is there. Why can't I go to a concert and feel okay? Like, I would love to go experience a concert, but you think I'm gonna be able to handle standing in the middle of a concert, or not being able to sit by an exit or something because of my anxiety, of my panic attacks? These are things that to this day I deal with. These are things that got more powerful during this time because of the situations that we're dealing with, the times that we're dealing with. Not only COVID, but the riots and people burning stuff down. When the whole riot started, you know, I couldn't sleep because I'm like, what if they come? I live on top of a restaurant. What if they come, break these windows, and set this fucking restaurant on fire? What's gonna happen to us? You know, like, I live all the way in the last floor. Like, I have a dog. Like, how I'm supposed to run out? You know, like, how is this gonna work? So all these things are triggers, but I learned how to control them too. Once I felt like this was taking over again, I said no, nuh-uh. There's changes that gotta be made again. So I started working out. I started eating differently. I started speaking more with other people. I started speaking more about this with other people. I started going out more. I hang out with my cousin more. I hang out with my best friend more. I hang out with you know, like, it's like 3 people, but I hang out with them more. With the one person that I work out with, he got me into, you know, like, working out more and all this other stuff. Super supportive on that. I work out, like, I'm doing so much stuff, but I also have a good group of people to support me, and that's another thing that you need. I know when we're younger, a lot of people, like, you ever hear your parents say, oh, well, it takes a village to raise a kid, and that's 100% true. But as you get older, that you still need that village, but the tribe changes, you know. Like, now, those were your mother's peoples, right, that helped her raise you. But now you need to figure out who are your people that you need in your life to help you go through adulthood, because it gets hard. There's situations that you go through. There's situations that you deal with. There's people that you deal with. Because I feel like people are so evil. And there's still to this day people that I run into. And I question myself. Like, how can this person be so evil and so nasty and so mean and so rude and take advantage of people? I was just dealing with someone for a few... I don't even know if I could call it dealing. It was like, this person didn't even live here. But when they would come over here, like, I would see this person and we would chill and we would talk all the time on the phone. And it was pretty much like, you know, because to me, this is the only person I'm dealing with or whatever for a few years, since like 2017 till now. And this person to me right now, he's the trigger right now. Now I'm learning how to deal with that, right? But to me, you'll run into people like that who are real mean people. They take advantage of people. They kind of do things, and like these people are worse than the people who lit the fire, right? So I had a person who lit the fire to my depression and made it explode. But this person knew about that lit fire, knew about everything I went through, knew about the stuff that happened in life, and that person went and was like, well, oh well, I'm gonna probably do 2-3 times worse, but I'm not gonna put that face right now. I'm gonna just, when you find out, you find out kind of thing. And those people are the people that we need to watch out for, you know, because especially people who deal with mental health issues, we have a lot of triggers. We have a lot of things that we have to watch out for. It's not only you know, like, taking care of yourself physically. You gotta watch out who you let in your life, because that shit will fuck you up here, and it can make you worse. I'm lucky that I have the people that I have in my life. My tribe is strong as shit. My tribe does not let me fall. They could see me going down on one knee and it's like, nope, get up. You're not doing it. It's not happening. Sometimes there's days that I say no, like, I really just need one day to just like feel, because I'm the type of person, I say this, you have to feel your feelings. You have to feel your feelings. You have to know that something hurts you, and you have to let it hurt you, and you have to heal from that hurt. But you have to go through it. There's stages. You could grieve people that are alive, and you have to go through those stages. I'm very big. I'm very big on feeling, but I'm blessed to have the people I have in my life. I'm blessed that my mother understands this more. I'm blessed that my brother understands this more, because in this time that I've been dealing with my panic attacks the most and the hardest, my brother has been the one to be able to help me, to talk me out of them. Like I said in one of my videos, when I have a panic attack, I lose my speech sometimes. Like, there's times that I could talk to you, but I'm trembling so much that I can't really talk. So there's words that I cannot say. There's stuff that I can't do. I get a knot in my throat. I get really cold sometimes. This is a lot. And I try to take care of this, because what people fail to realize and what people fail to understand is that things like this can kill you. You know, like, I could put my body under so much stress that I could give myself a heart attack, dealing with the things I deal with, dealing with the normal stuff. Like, but normal stuff that is normal to you but will give me anxiety. So my body, I have to be careful with it. You know, I have to be careful with not only my body but my brain, because my brain is what sends these messages to my body. The other day I was speaking to one of my friends, and I actually let her see the previous video that I had recorded, and I remember her stopping the video and just looking at me and just saying, you know, she knows that she's one of my triggers. She knows it. And I love her to death, but she's definitely one of my triggers, because I had to learn and I had to teach myself to let everybody deal with their own battles, because I'm a healer. I feel like I could fix everything. And I want all my friends to always be straight. I want all my family to always be straight. So I always try to fix the problem. But this one friend that I love dearly, she loves to just jump in her problems, like, head first. So I had to learn how to step back and let her deal with her problems. But as I spoke to her about making these videos, I spoke to her about these things. She was very supportive. And I showed her a clip of the previous video that I did not release because for whatever reasons. But I remember her pausing the video and just, we was sitting on her bed, and I was like sitting up, and she was kind of laying down, and she just paused and looked up, and she said, I'm proud of you that you're still here today, and I'm proud of you that you made it. And at first, like, I got choked up, because there was times that I didn't want to make it. There was times that I was thinking about how I don't want to make it, and how I could not make it, you know, like, so when she said that, it kind of hit me, like I did, like, I made it, you know, I made it to here. And it was fucking hard, yo. It was hard, but I made it. But then she said, and it's crazy, because, like, you had a lot of friends, but none of us were there for you. And we can't say that about you, because you was always there for us. And that's one thing that I want my friends to always remember. Like, I was always there for them. But for a long time, I had nobody there for me. And to hear her say those words, it kind of made me, like, you know, take a breath in and say, wow, you know, like, she's recognizing this and she's noticing this. But then at the same time, it kind of made me feel, it kind of took me back that I really didn't have anyone, you know, like, to support me in these moments and to be there in these moments. But this is why I say, like, everybody that has been part of my story and that will continue to be part of my story, I do not blame anyone. I do not think anyone was a bad friend for not being there for me. I don't think anybody was a bad partner for putting me through what they put me through. I don't think my family was messed up for what they did, because everybody reacted to me how they found fit, you know. So and who am I to blame anyone for reacting the only way they know how to react? So I'm not mad at anyone. I'm not mad at anyone. Was I hurt? For a long time, I was hurt. I was hurt with a lot of people. I was hurt with mainly with my family, because not one court date did anybody go with me to it. Not one incident did anybody hold my hand and say it's gonna be okay. And I think that's what I was expecting the most. I was just expecting for someone to say it's gonna be okay and you're not alone, you know. Like, that's it. That's really the most I was expecting from people, and I didn't get it. But I don't hold that against anybody anymore. And I'm growing, and my village is growing, um and everyone, my tribe is amazing, you know, and everyone I have in my life is great. I met great people when I went to school. I have a beautiful, healthy relationship with my mentor and my social worker in school. I have so many people who believed in me, and at points where I wanted to give up. I remember one time I was in school and I felt so overwhelmed, and I wrote an email, and I told my mentor, and well, two of my mentors. I wrote an email apologizing to them. I told them, I was like, listen, I'm gonna drop out. I don't want to apologize to myself. I want to apologize to you guys because you guys believed in me, but I just can't anymore. And I remember the female one, she called me. She was like, like she laughed it off, and she was like, all right, you can feel how you want to feel, but I'll see you tomorrow. And she was like, and if I have to go pick you up at your house, I will go pick you up at your house, because I'm not letting you give up. Still to this day, this lady still calls me just like that. When I post something, and if it slightly makes her think that I'm not okay, she'll call me. If she sees a job that she thinks like, yo, you can do this, she'll send it to me. If she reminds me every time school's open, hello, have you registered? Have you done this? Have you done that? I have so many great people in my life, and I think that's definitely what we all need. We all need great people in our lives. We need people that not only even if they're dealing with their own mental health issues, I feel like you need people that are gonna try to understand you and understand what you're dealing with. I feel like some people come in your life and they're like, oh, that's what you're dealing with, oh damn, that sucks, but they don't even try to figure out how to work with you to deal with that. A person that loves you, a person that cares about you, a person that wants to be a part of your life will pick up a fucking book, will Google something, you know, like Google panic attacks or Google anxiety, or it's like so many ways. How do I explain this to my daughter? I literally just take YouTube videos. Like when she was younger, I really didn't know how to explain to her, you know, like I feel anxious right now, and I remember one time I had like an outburst, and I was like, well, you need to stop talking because I already have 1,000 voices in my head, and then you come here and all you want to do is complain, and then I like lashed out, and then I took a step back and I said, I'm sorry, I'm wrong, you're a baby, you don't understand what I'm dealing with, but I'm gonna show you. So I went on YouTube and I found this animated video of anxiety, and I showed it to her, and then she said, mommy, that's how you feel all the time, or that's what you feel in your head, or something towards of if that's how I feel. And I said, yes, that's how I feel. So when I tell you, please give me a minute, or not right now, or when I come in my room and I lock my door, and I know me and her share a room, so it's kind of like her space too, so she feels like you can't kick me out of my space. I said, just give me a few minutes just to gather my thoughts, and then you could come back in and we could share this space, and we could share this area, and we share our life, you know. So I always try to tell her, and I always try to explain to her the best way I can. And I apologize when I'm big on apologies too. So if I did something wrong, I always apologize to her. I always let her know that I'm a mom and I make mistakes, just like she's a kid and she makes mistakes, but we have to own up to our mistakes. I'm very big on owning up, and she knows that. I don't tolerate lying. If you did something wrong, that's fine, but you have to admit that you did something wrong, because guess what? If you just want to lie and cover it up, and you want to sit here and act like you perfect, and then have this attitude like you're not doing nothing wrong, then that's what's going to trigger me. That's what's going to get me upset. So I always talk to her about it. I always talk to her about how I'm feeling. If there's, now she could read me. So now there's days that I don't have to tell her how I feel. So she'll come in, and or I'll come home from work and she's here already, and you know, my daughter could read me now, so she could tell by just my face expression. She'll ask me like, oh, how was your day? And then she'll let me talk and tell her how my day went. Of course, she's a kid, so I don't throw my problems on my daughter, but I won't let her feel like she's talking to the wall or something. So she asks me how my day was. I'll say, oh, okay, it was a little tough, or it was a little long, or I didn't get lunch. I'll give her some type of conversation, some type of acknowledgement that I do appreciate that she acknowledges that I'm not feeling well, but I don't throw my stuff on my daughter. I try to be a better person for myself because I want to project this onto her. So, yeah, this is pretty much it, you know, like, this is my life. This is what I deal with on a day-to-day basis. I know what we post on the internet makes you feel like we all doing okay, but not all of us are always doing okay. Not all of us have it all 100% together. Not all of us can live a quote unquote normal life, you know. We adapt, and we're living, and we're surviving, and we wake up every day and we thank God every day. But some of us are battling a lot of issues, you know. Some of us are battling ourselves. Some of us could smile because maybe we're not sad, but we still have pain, you know. And I just always say, be kind. Think about what you're gonna say. And that's a big lesson I learned in life, because I heard a lot of people with words. I probably didn't hurt you physically, but I heard a lot of people with words because I was hurt. And I learned that words do not erase. As a bruise will go away, but these words will not erase. So I do take my time out now before I respond to people, and I do think about what I'm gonna say, because I never want to be the reason why someone has these words replaying in their head day to day. And always remember that to ask your friends if they're okay, and to try to understand, because not everyone is willing to talk about it. And another thing I always say is, everything starts with one conversation. Just one conversation. Just a few words. Are you okay? Always remind that. Always remember to ask people, are they okay? And not just, hey, are you okay, and walk away. Or, you know, listen to this much. Sometimes we just need to be ears. Just let people talk, because that might be what helped them stay alive that day. So like I said in the beginning of the video, no one in my past, no one in my life, no one in my story do I blame. I thank everyone, good and bad, because we need the good to grow. We need to learn from it. I mean, we need the bad to grow and learn from it. And the bad always makes us value the good. So if everything we get in life is good, you know, we never gonna really value it. So everything that I went through in life made me cherish my not only my life, my family, my mom, my immediate family, my mom, my brothers, the few cousins that I'm really close to. It made me cherish a lot, you know. And yeah, I really don't know how to end this video. I do want to say that it took me a while, because even though I do speak about my story personally, just sitting down and recording it, it was very weird, and it's very hard for me. I'm gonna post it. It's pretty long, but you know, you could watch it in breaks. You can watch it however you want. Share it. If you have any questions, you can drop it, and I will make another video answering any questions that anybody has. So I just want everybody to stay busy, stay healthy, talk about your problems. Don't let that shit sit inside of you at all. Someone will listen. There's people out there that don't mind listening and don't mind being there. And yeah, peace and love. Weirdo shit, you know.